Good morning and welcome to the free daily coaching hangout. Your daily hangout for mindset, tech tips, and everything attraction marketing. We're here every morning at 10:30 a.m. Eastern. Sit back or jump in. Either way, remember to have some fun. Here at freedailycoaching.com.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the free daily coaching hangout. This morning is a Wednesday morning, so if you're watching on Google+, maybe you're watching the replay on the blog, on someone's blog, maybe you're watching on YouTube and you're wondering what's going on. Well, this morning is a Wednesday, so as we usually do on Wednesdays, we have someone come in that is having success in their business. Now, here at Free Daily Coaching, a lot of times we're dealing with home-based business owners, but sometimes we branch out into different fields, and the reason that we do that is because we want to talk to people that are doing all types of marketing, right? They're marketing to all types of different people, different individuals, different businesses, and this morning we actually have an awesome opportunity to interview someone that's really had some massive success, and I had the opportunity really to find out a little bit about Marquel and part of his story in a group, right? In a group setting. We did a challenge, both of us, and we both used this platform, a marketing platform, and Marquel had already really had been getting some success, and he wanted to like bump it to the next level, and he absolutely just literally started crushing it. Guys, I can't even tell you, like, he became the top enroller, like the top recruiter for his company for, I don't know, he probably still is, like, it was like for some ridiculous amount of time, and he started building a business at a rate and at such a momentum that he literally became, like, if for lack of better terms, he literally became a force to be reckoned with. You're like, all right, this guy knows what he's doing. He knows how to build a business and get into profit, right? And that's really the bottom line when you're in a home-based business. If you're an entrepreneur, if you're trying to get started, you want to get into profit. You want to be able to know what those action steps are to get yourself into profit. So that's why I brought someone that's an absolute powerhouse on here this morning that's shown over and over and over again that he knows the model for success. Mr. Marquel Russell. What's up, buddy?
Hey, what's up, Bert, man? I definitely appreciate the introduction, man. And I'm loving the intro music at the beginning.
Oh, thanks, man.
Awesome, man. I'm excited to be here, man. Thank you so much. I'm excited about what you're doing.
Well, hey, I'm excited that you're here. I haven't really, I hadn't had the opportunity to bring you over to Free Daily Coaching and really talk to you about a little bit more about what you're doing and what it is that you primarily do, where your skill sets are really strong, and then where you've reached out and got some either coaching or training or started developing new skills. So this morning, that's where I want to go with it. I want to, for the people that don't know you, maybe just tell everyone just a quick synopsis of, where you're at right now and kind of where you came from. How did you, kind of a quick overview of how you got to where you're at right now.
Okay, perfect, man. Well, just in just a couple minutes, just the abridged version. Actually, the number one enroller in my current company. But my main focus is really like coaching and training. I really discovered my passion. I got introduced to network marketing, traditional network marketing. Really got it was cool. I had some success, but it was just kind of got tedious for me because I really wanted time freedom and not really with the home meetings and all this stuff. So I was introduced to internet marketing, and through that I started to get some results after going through all the overwhelm, thinking I had to do this because you come online at first. They say you got to learn blogging, you got to learn, pay-per-click, you got to learn copywriting, email marketing. You got to learn all these different things to start getting them. So that's where I was jumping here and I was jumping there and I was buying this and I was buying that, getting no results. So I really went broke until I really sat back and got focused and said, okay. And a mentor told me, hey, all you got to do is pick one strategy and focus on that, and then you can build up. So my first strategy was blogging, so I really focused in on that, and I started to get some results. A lot of people started reaching out and wanted, coaching and training, and I saw that there was power in creating products. And through that, I discovered my passion was really coaching, training, creative products, speaking at events, and so forth. And I all came into this was crazy because I know that may all sound wonderful, and that's what we all want to be, work at home full time in our house shoes and stuff like that. But I actually got introduced to all of this prior to network marketing. I was in the entertainment field. I'm doing like artist management and club promotions. But before that, I actually grew up here in Atlanta, Georgia, in a drug-infested environment. Like my mom raised me and my two sisters by herself. Everyone around us either sold drugs, did drugs, or they worked jobs for a living, and they were always broke. Like we used to have a candy lady where I grew up, where we used to go get candy and snacks in the neighborhood. And every time we would ask somebody, hey, can we get $5 or $2 or $1 to go to the candy lady, they always said I was broke. I'm broke. So I never could figure out how somebody could work a job all week and still be broke. So I was like, I definitely don't want that for my life. So of course, one thing led to another. I went down the other route, started selling drugs early on in my life, dropped out of high school in 10th grade, so I have a 9th grade education. Just kind of went down that road, that entrepreneurial road, I guess. But I was using the muscle in the wrong way. But I learned a lot along the way. Started an entertainment company, had my first son when I was 19. I was hanging out in the club one night, coincidentally, and a gentleman walked up to me and pitched me on network marketing for the first time. I had never heard of anything about network marketing, didn't know anything about pyramid schemes or any of that. So he invited me out to a home meeting. I saw it and was like, hey, I can legitimately make this amount of money in my sleep, and all I got to do is get two people who get two people who get two people. I was like, okay, awesome, I'm in. And of course, that was the furthest thing from the truth. But by that time, I got invited to an event, and that's just to tell you the power of events, because I was almost about to quit. But when I went to this event, I saw that this industry was real. I saw this industry was real. I was introduced to personal development, and my whole life transformed at that point. And because of all that and sticking out and committing to the process, I'm here right now having this conversation with you and get to work with phenomenal individuals like you on a regular basis. So that's a quick, I guess, couple-minute snapshot.
Oh, that's great. I didn't know that part. I didn't know the early years part, and even before the entertainment or the entertainment part. So it's an interesting concept, or not even a concept. It's an interesting. I don't even know if it's a coincidence, because I don't know if I really believe in coincidence. Do you think it's an interesting little coinky-dink that a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of people that are in the space that we're in, that early on, they were already like, there was something, a lot of times there was like this like rebellious part, or there was a part where there was like a struggle, whether it was imposed upon you or it was self-imposed, right? Because some of it we opted in, right? Like we participated in that behavior, but some of it we were just like, it was just, like it was like something that you're just come into, you're thrust into that world. Right. You find it interesting that a lot of people that have success later in life, or when they decide to start becoming an entrepreneur, started really like what you said was you were flexing the muscle like in the wrong way. So it's like something changed in you, and you were able to start like utilizing skill sets and talents that you had, but instead of using them in a way that wasn't of maximum benefit to yourself and to the people around you, you changed that. There was some change at some point. What was that moment? Like, what was there a moment, or was it like a compilation of things that like changed it for you, and you said like, hey, I got to do something different? Was it just simply meeting that guy, or?
Well, yeah, I mean, like you said, man, it was like a compounding thing. Because, like, at this point, at the point when I had the shift, I was 19 years old, and I was actually in jail, right? My first son was born. He's 11 now. So at that point, I was like, man, I got to do something different. So I got out, and I was like, okay, I'm going to try this job thing out. So I went out and got a job, like, changing oil and changing tires on 18-wheelers. So, and I was sitting there looking at the billboard with the price list. And I did the math, and I was like, okay, every hour they make $300 based on the work that I do, and I'm only getting paid $8.50 an hour. So I'm like, I'm out of here. So I kind of went back to what I knew best, in the streets or whatever. And at that point, I was like, okay, now I use the money to start some kind of business. I don't know what, so let's do entertainment. I know some guys who can rap and sing, so let's go that route. So because I immersed myself, I went that direction. I end up being introduced to a guy who owns a club. He gave me a night to start promoting. I started having some success in the entertainment realm. So that was kind of a whack because I knew I had to do something different. And even my mom used to always tell me, hey, if you're going to be doing something wrong, you have to be doing something right to balance it all out. So I started this business, and by me doing that, I was introduced in hanging in the club when I was introduced to network marketing, and I was like, I think this is it. And when I went to events and saw people speaking and coaching and seeing the impact it was having on people's lives and how personal development changed people's lives through Jim Rohn and Les Brown. I mean, because like a few years ago, I had no clue that any of this stuff existed. So when I saw that and I saw the impact on my life, and I was like, okay, I think this is what God created me to do, to get out and impact other people's lives, because I had to go through everything that I went through to become who I am now. And if I can get this out to more people early on in life, or even where they are now, it can really have a massive impact. So it's just really about just really going through the process and just really focusing on, okay, what can I learn from this? How can I continue to grow? And how can I always be a student and at the same time, teach at the same time?
Oh man, that's powerful. So you got me. I was about to cry. I was like, man, this is a powerful story. Not in a bad way, like in a good way, like the story of triumph. Like I relate to that story. Everyone has a story, right? And we all share different parts of the story, right? Like my story only goes back, like people know my story back into like the point where I quit my job and then forward, right? Like that's where they know that story. So we went farther back in your story, and that's why I asked that question, because I think it's funny, or I think it's odd that so many of us, that it seems like we're, you grew up in Atlanta in a rough area, right? And I grew up in like Southern California. It wasn't really that rough. I mean, okay, when I was young, there's some rough areas to grow up in, especially if you're like the only, one kid of one kind of group, right? But for the most part, it's Southern California. It's, it's not that, unless you're living out in LA, it's really not that scary, right? And then to see like how those different paths can end up like at a place where they're like, hey, like 3 or 4 years ago, I didn't know who Jim Rohn was or Les Brown, but those guys are awesome, right? Yeah. Like those guys changed my life. Right. And yours, obviously.
Absolutely.
Right? Because how does a guy from Atlanta meet a guy that's, that's living in Colorado, right? Like a city guy from Atlanta meets some kid from, some other guy from Colorado. How do they do that? Like, what's the commonality? There had to be, right? There has to be that commonality. And it's funny because you think the commonality, or it appears that it's this, that we're in the home-based business industry, right? But really, if you go back, you can say, oh yeah, look at what else they did. All these other things, right? Mm-hmm. All these other things in life, and you can fill in the blanks, guys. Like different people do different things, right? Like you lived in the city, someone else lived in the country, right? You lived in Atlanta, someone else lived in, Texas or LA or Detroit or wherever, right? So when you started to know, and you said, hey, I felt it, like God had I got a mission here. Like maybe this is the mission, right? Like maybe the mission isn't to go be the guy in the church, right? Because that's not what you're doing. Maybe you're supposed to go and carry the message, whatever your message is, whatever the message that you're being like told, and you're supposed to go carry it. When you started doing that, did the response that was coming back change?
Well, you talking about as far as the people who are around me?
Yeah, like when you were like starting to like, because when you do that, it's not just like you're like saying stuff on Facebook, right? Because you really changed your life. So you were starting to like read different people and listen and go to events, and so you were changing. So as you started to like externally espouse this, what was happening around you?
Well, at first a lot of people kind of, sometimes people look at it like, okay, this is maybe a phase that he's going through. I mean, a lot of people, because the cool thing is I've always been blessed to be able, I guess, to be a leader, even though maybe I wasn't doing it the right way all my life. Because even when I was young, my mom used to always say, Russells are leaders, Russells are leaders. So I guess that has always been embedded in me. So I was always entrepreneurial. I always had a vision. So when everybody else was in the hood or whatever, and they just want to do the same thing forever, I always was on some, okay, let's start a business, let's do this entertainment company, let's do this, let's do this. So I was always forward thinking, and everybody else was always kind of buying to the vision. So I like to say that everyone kind of figured that I was on to something, just didn't quite know what it was. So now all the people who I was around, they're not around as much anymore, because a lot of the conversations I don't entertain, a lot of the stuff I don't entertain anymore because I'm on something completely different. But we still reach out, we still connect. I never talk down on people or any of that. I'm just me, and I just like to be that beacon of light and just share that inspiration. So more than anything, they're inspired by me stepping out, doing something completely different, and really just going after it. I mean, because a lot of my people, my friends and who I grew up with, I mean, they're like in prison and dead or still doing the same things. So more than anything, they're just inspired. I mean, even my buddy, one of my best friends, he's in prison. He reaches out to me regularly, and he's just hearing what's going on and watching what's going on. And it's just really, really inspiring for everybody, for me to just step out, doing something different versus just really doing the same thing, getting the same results, and kind of going on that same path. So it really wasn't anybody just kind of being negative about it. Yeah, they weren't interested in going in my direction from a business standpoint, but never was like, oh, that's never going to work, or blah, 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 blah. Because, people already know if I put my mind to something, I'm going to get it done. I mean, and then by you doubting me, that's really going to fire me up.
Yeah, right? Oh, man, that's awesome. Okay, so we'll shift just a little bit. We're going to shift gears just a little bit because I wanted people, I wanted to start it off, and we're going to do maybe like 10 more minutes. I got to jump on another phone call right after this, so I don't want to go over, and I don't want to cut us off. I want to go from this mindset, and then you changed your mindset. You started really developing yourself. You have this you found this calling. You found your passion to go out and do something, right? Change the world, basically, right? Is that I mean, on a bigger level. Once you found a vehicle to do that, okay? So, and we know that because you're building a business. So, and you talked about having this passion for really learning how to teach and coach. So, when you started to build your business, and since there's a lot of people here that are just getting started, they're just starting to implement some marketing. What was the strategy that you got the most response from, right, or the best response from, as far as your marketing or your networking, when you first started getting going, so that you could start to kind of build some momentum?
That's a great question. The first things that I really started getting a lot of great results from was blogging and video marketing, and they really all tie in together. So blogging, video marketing, and social media, they're all basically one and the same, and they all tie in together. So, and the cool thing was here's a big hang up that a lot of people struggle with, even my coaching clients and so forth, is, okay, what am I going to talk about? What am I going to create videos about? What am I going to create blog posts about? And I always say, don't you take notes? I always say, have you ever been to a seminar before? Yeah. Did you take notes? Yeah. Have you ever been on a webinar before? Yeah. Did you take notes? Yeah. Have you ever read a book before? Yeah. Did you take notes? Yeah. Have you been on a training? Yeah. Did you take notes? Yeah. Okay. So you have content. Now all you do is take that and then you share it. So let's say, for instance, somebody watches one of your free daily coaching hangouts, and you talk about 3 steps to quit your job, go full time, and become the award marketer. And now they can shoot a video on that same exact thing. So you can say something along the lines of, hey, I did this video, my buddy Bert was talking about this, or they can take that information and just twist it and make it their own. It can be 3 steps to doing fill in the blank, whatever their target market wants. So it's really we get a hang up because they'll say, well, Bert talked about all that, or Bert has a product on that, or Marquel talks about that, he has a product on that. But it's millions of people who will never come across me, millions of people who will never come across Bert, there's millions of people who will never come across the top gurus, and they'll come across you, and you're just getting started. And by them coming across your video or your blog, now they see you as the big guru, just because you put out the content that you basically just took from somebody else, and you didn't really take it, you just learned it from them. And this big guru who's teaching it, they learned it from somebody. So they just made it up out of thin air. They learned it from somebody, and the person they learned it from somebody, and the person they learned it from somebody. So once we get past that, and we just focus on, okay, what can I learn? Then how can I teach it? What can I learn? How can I teach? And once I realized that, I started taking my notes, and I started cranking out blog posts. I started cranking out videos. So I'm always learning, making myself better. And I'm like, okay, I can take that and teach. If I'm listening to an audio book, I'll say, okay, great. That sounds like a great video. So I'll shoot a video. Or if I'm going through a training or a conference, I'm always at a conference like, okay, that's video content, that's video content, that's video content. And then you take that and just share it, because 9 times out of 10, what you just learned from this expert or guru, whatever you want to call it, everybody else who comes across you have never heard about them. So a lot of times we look up at the people who are successful and say, well, they're going to judge me and say they already heard that. But you got to look down at the pool of people who were just coming online yesterday or a week ago, who've never heard that, who aren't on the Hangout, who didn't go to the event. Now we take that and crank out content. Now you start generating leads, and your business just goes to a whole nother level. So once I start understanding that, learn it, and then create, repurpose it into my own message and put it out on a consistent basis, I mean, the whole game changed for me.
Absolutely. Well, and it's so great that you shared that, because it's another example of these simple ideas. It wasn't like, you said it earlier. It's not like you didn't go get a doctorate in marketing.
Right. No.
Right? Yeah. You just simply went to some trainings, you listened to some stuff, and you shared what you learned. There's all kinds of different ways to share it. You gave a bunch of different examples, and that just, it reiterates the fact that anyone can do this. It doesn't matter where you live, how old you are, what your job background is, what your education background is, right? If you can learn and you can grow, then you can go out and help other people do the same thing, because you can point them in the right direction.
Absolutely.
I mean, what an amazing, Marquel, it's been, I've been saying it wrong all morning. Now I know, right? I'm like, oh man. It's really phenomenal to see, other people have success. It's one thing when you come in and you see the people all around and you see them online and these people are having results, but then when you step into it like you have, and it's actually you, describe, there's work. You described talking about going and doing blog posts and making videos and doing it over and over and doing it consistently, and now that you've done it and you've gotten some good results, describe to the people that are watching what that's like. What's that feeling like?
I mean, it's really amazing. I mean, it's amazing to just want the success stories. I mean, because my thing, I always tell people, I'm not motivated by money. I used to always think that I was, but I'm really not. I'm more motivated by impact, by testimonials and success stories. I tell my coaching clients all the time, I don't coach for money. I coach for your success story. I'm just able to make a ton of money because I'm able to create success stories. And that's the bottom line. I'm not here to I don't want your money. I want your success story. And I know that may sound crazy because I'm sending you an invoice or I'm getting your card information, but that's just to get your commitment. But I want your success story more than I like waking up getting an email or how this is something that I've done has impacted their lives. A guy posted one of our Facebook groups earlier, and he said the content he's going through that I created and outside of our membership platform is just amazing. It's impacted his life on a whole nother level. I had a guy tell me his income has doubled since we worked together. He's become the #1 recruiter in his organization. Another lady said she quit her job. I mean, that person had $1,000 a day. This one lady said I was working with her on some personal development type stuff, and now her relationship with her daughter has improved. They went from never talking to really hanging out a lot. That's really what it's all about. I mean, just by you doing a webinar and people showing up, or you doing a hangout and there's people showing up, whether it's 3 people or 3,000 people, that's huge because you really have people who want to hear your message. I mean, that's just absolutely, life changing. I mean, just that, really just focusing on impact and service and providing value. I mean, it's absolutely amazing, man. I'm like, it's mind blowing.
Awesome, awesome, awesome.
And another thing I'll throw in really quickly, and because I know some people get hung up with, okay, you said Mark do videos, Marquel. I'm not, comfortable getting in front of the video, or I don't like typing, which is blog posts. Another cool thing that I've been doing lately is on your cell phone. Typically, you got a voice recorder. I might be in the car and I'll just hit record on my voice recorder and do like a 1 to 2 minute audio. You can upload that and use that as your content, put that on your blog. So I mean, that's another way, just to get more content out and help more people. So that's pretty powerful stuff.
Absolutely. Wow. Well, I want to say thank you so much, Marquel, for coming out this morning, really sharing some personal parts of your story and really sharing your journey in your home-based business and really a story of victory. And guys, the fun part is this, the success that you hear about Marquel is the stories of the testimonies of the people that got to work with him. It's not about how he's making, diamond rings and, he's driving a fancy car and he's got like stacks of money in his garage or something on a pallet, right? Like that wasn't even, that you never even heard about that. You heard, hey, Marquel had awesome success as the #1 recruiter in his organization. And guess what? He's then been able to subsequently help multiple people to achieve the results that they wanted to achieve. And that's what he talked about. That's what he got excited about, because that's where the success is. The success is in the other people. The success is inside of you, and it's waiting for you to go out and share it with other people so that you can draw it out in other people and continue that cycle, right? Marquel just happens to be a Russell, and they're leaders, right? He just happens to be born into it, right? Some of us, and maybe you're out there, maybe you weren't born as a Russell, right? Maybe you weren't born as a leader, but you can step into that and you can become the leader. I want to thank you guys all for joining us at Free Daily Coaching. I'm going to shoot you guys off to be able to get registered for a webinar tonight. Marquel, if they want to find you, besides going and finding you on Facebook, where else can they come and visit you at?
You can check out my blog. My blog is marquelrussell.com. That's MarquelRussell.com. I got tons of free content over there, free training, audios, blogs, text. I mean, I got a ton of it. So you can go over there and check it out. And let me know if you have any questions about anything.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. I put it over in the chat, guys. Go and visit him. It's marquelrussell.com. Go and visit him. Find him on Facebook. Guys, if you can't find him, go over into the Free Daily Coaching on that thread where you'll see a big fun picture of him on stage in a suit and just be like, hey, put it in there. Or you can go ahead and do that as well. Marquel, just put that link in there. Guys, thank you so much for being here at the Free Daily Coaching Hangout. I'm going to jump over onto another call. I got to jump over onto the MLSP call. So I'll see you guys over there. Marquel, thank you so much, man. Have a great day.
Thank you. Have a blessed day as well.
All right, I'll shoot you over the link soon, bud.
All right, man.